Okay, welcome to this Q&A episode. I took the top questions shared over the last few weeks. We did about 6 in total, talked about how to grow as a leader and inspire vision, what to do when you're new to a city and you own a business, and how to own your time as a new mom. Hey, it's Ange Peters, and welcome to WholeFit Talks, a weekly broadcast streaming live on the WholeFit Facebook page. So excited to have you join us as we jam on living, loving, and leading a supernatural life. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome. We're back. I'm back, I should say. How are you guys today? Say hi. You're just jumping in. Hello, Instagram. Let me get my show notes up here. We'll be good to go in a moment. Tell me if you can hear me okay, see me okay. Hi, Shannon. Thank you. Okay, check. We are good to go. Welcome to WholeFit Talks, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Share it out if you'd like with your friends, with your communities. I'm streaming on Instagram. You can share there, or you can share over on Facebook. We stream every Wednesday, almost every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern on Facebook and Instagram, and then I upload it as a podcast. So that seems to be a pretty popular way for people to tune in. Comment below, and I'm curious whether you have listened to this as a podcast version before. It's personally my favorite way to tune into somebody's content and mindset, because I like to develop my mind while I'm doing things that don't require as intense a focus. So maybe I'm folding laundry or chopping vegetables or going for a run. Even when I'm driving, rather than listening to music, I'll often listen to podcasts, and I'll just stream it up there. So that is a very popular way that a lot of you do tune in. My assistant Jill is going to pop up the links. If you didn't know this was a podcast, you can actually subscribe to the show on iTunes, and then you'll always receive the latest downloads to your device. Great to have you guys here for the live Q&A today. We're doing Q&A, full Q&A show. So we're going to do a little bit of catch up, just to give you a quick preview of some of the topics I'm going to be going over today. I'm going to be talking about ranking up in your business. So I actually had 3 questions on this exact same topic. Wondering how to go to that next level, especially if you're a new-ish leader of a team. So maybe you're around that elite or premier level and you want to grow. So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about how to manage your time if you're a new mother and you've got a baby on your hip now. Things obviously get a little more challenging. I'm going to talk about how to start fresh when you move to a new city. And then I also had questions about the video equipment I use and a few other things. I think I'm taking about 6 questions today. And just as a reminder, you'll notice that I do collect the questions before the podcast in 2 ways, okay? So the first way, every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I put up a question queue image, okay? You'll see that on the WholeFit Facebook page. So if you actually were to scroll down the wall, you'd see that collector queue there, and you'll see that the questions I'm taking today were pulled from that. Now, if there does seem to be a lot of questions that are submitted in a particular week, then I will choose the most liked questions. So if you want to see a topic covered and somebody's asked the question, then you'll want to like their question so that we make sure that it does get covered. The other way, if you want your question to be a little more anonymous, you can submit it through the podcast collection form, and we'll post those links for you here in the comments, and then also in the show notes of this episode. Okay, so hi you guys that are here for the first time. I can see a lot of you commenting, saying hello to each other. That's awesome. We have about 100 people over on Facebook, 60 over on Instagram, so it's a slower day today. What are you guys up to where you are? We have this beautiful weather happening in London right now. So we're super lucky to be heading into mid-October still with double-digit temps. So I just came back from a run and feeling nice and fresh for you guys. I've got a clear mindset as I go into your questions today. Few quick updates. So number 1, there won't be a live broadcast next week. So I'll be back October the 24th. Okay. Second thing is the Ready, Set, Glow 7-day detox is happening again, October 22nd to the 28th. So you'll find the link to that. Again, it's going to be in the Facebook comments. Jill's going to pop that up right now. What do I want to say about this detox? I've been running it since 2013. There's about 3,000 people in there with you doing this detox. And once you're in forever. Okay, so it's $45 US. It is going to be one of the most influential programs in your life when it comes to kickstarting your health or learning a lot of new rituals and routines and habits that are going to be your new normal eventually, okay? And I would love to hear from some of our alumni. I know a lot of you are here joining right now. How many of you, like, share with us one thing that you do now that was totally foreign to you when you did this 7-day detox? Maybe you were one of the OGs that did this with me back in 2013. This is the cool thing. It's 7 days, it's intense, and it's open to everyone. You can find all the info on that in that link that Jill just posted on my website. So I would suggest that you register yourself before October 15th, 16th, just because there's going to be some prep, okay? You want to make sure that you have enough time to look through the ebook. I do a live check-in in the Facebook group that you'll be a part of to get you all, pumped up and ready. Yeah, it's for all ages. I do not recommend cleansing of any kind to somebody who's nursing, pregnant, or has compromised health right now. However, a lot of people do join to, partake in the community around it and eating healthy or drinking more water, things like that. And because you have lifetime access, you can join us the next time. So you'll see the dates for 2019. I actually uploaded those today. I'm like really on my game. Hi, Bex. Yes, you are an OG for sure. Okay, the other thing, I'm not sure if you saw this posting yet. I've collaborated with 28 other amazing women to offer you a free Essential Oil Women and Hormones Summit. How many of you are interested in that topic? It's running for free October 22nd to the 26th. And as with all free virtual summits, it's free if you can show up live during that time, but then you can actually pay for it to have the recordings to listen to on your own time whenever you want. The cool thing is this is raising money for Days for Girls. Over $50,000, you guys, has already been raised through this summit. So it's just an amazing collaboration. I'm so excited for it. And this was kickstarted by Dr. Marisa Snyder. Some of you heard from her at doTERRA's convention. She was on the panel. So it's going to be awesome. Two more things, and then we'll get to the Q&A. So this month in doTERRA land, for those of you that are interested in starting your essential oil lifestyle, it's a really hot month to start, right? If you follow me on Instagram, you saw me post this morning of the new the car diffuser that you get for free this month if you start with your first collection of doTERRA oils from the, if you choose one of the top starter kits, you're going to get the car diffuser for free, and it works so well, you guys. I had it going this morning as I took the girls to school, and I have purchased and used barely a lot of car diffusers in my day, okay? And not a lot of them work. Like 9 out of 10 do not work well. This one works really awesome. And it has colors, and it's perfect. And you're also going to receive 3 free limited edition oils if you get started this month. So I do have all the info on my website. However, as I always say, connect back with the person that sent you here. If they're building doTERRA, they'll take great care of you, okay? So you do not have to get started with me, but I do have all that info on my website. We'll post the link so you can see how you can actually take advantage of this month's promo. I actually recommend that you enroll with the convention kit. So 2 weeks ago on this broadcast, I did a whole rundown of convention, and I went through deep education on each product. So you might want to go back and listen to that one. Actually, that video on Facebook has had over 20,000 views already since recording 2 weeks ago. So a lot of you have been sharing that out. Thank you very much. Good content in there, especially if you start with that kit. Also on that note, the last thing I wanted to share was doTERRA does these what's called dream tours. They're basically a post-convention tour where you can go out for free to any one of there's like 100 of them happening across North America for a 2-hour product education night to learn about convention, the new things that were shared, and to learn about the new products. And there's lots of giveaways. So if for no other reason you like free things and you want to add value to your knowledge bank, then you'll probably want to go to one of these events. Now, London, my hometown, home city, we are hosting the event tomorrow night, Thursday the 11th from 7 to 9 p.m. Jill's going to put the link up there. We're nearing 1,000 in attendance, and I think we have room for 1,400. Okay, so there's room. I'd love to see you there. And I'm also flying out to Edmonton end of this month. I think it's October 27th. That sounds right in my head anyway. We'll put the link up there for Edmonton. If you are from Edmonton, or if you know somebody interested in holistic health and wants to come to that event, I'd love to meet them. You know, let me know. Have them message me if they are coming to this event for the first time, and if they haven't heard of doTERRA. Okay, so let's get to it, right? We are here for Q&A day, full session on that. Sometimes I do a focused topic on this show, and then I like to do 1 or 2 a month on just full Q&A, do a little catch up on the questions that you've submitted on the topics of natural living, whole health and wellness, leadership, productivity, rituals. These are probably the things that I am most known for, okay? So I love to talk about these things on this show. Okay, so let me go through. First question came from Kendra, okay? You guys ready to go? I'll go back and read through your comments at the end. So first question. So first, I'm loving your new website, Ange. It looks fantastic and so easy to navigate. Thank you, Kendra. I have been binge listening to a lot of your content, and I think you mentioned maybe giving us a peek into your setup for the podcast / Facebook Live, Instagram, etc., all the places, right? I would love if you would do an episode where you give us a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on. I find it all so fascinating. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. It's quite a mess, to be honest. So, yes, I did actually say in the last season, hold on one second. Let me just adjust here. I did actually share in the last season that I was going to do an episode on this. So here's a few things on that note. What I do to produce this show is not super duplicatable for a couple of reasons. I personally, one of my top strengths is a learner, okay? Now what that means is before I ever teach something or before I ever do something, I love to sit with it and learn it inside out and really master it through my action, through my practice before I start to teach it, okay? So, you have to kind of understand that if I was to share this with you, I'm going to probably do it in a way where it could be something you could do and not get too overwhelmed. Because I do all of the creative, all of the editing, all of the music, all of the marketing of it, all of the production, post episode, everything I do because I am a tech girl inside. I'm a creative. It's just it's how I've always rolled. I love to teach myself what I don't know. And then once I feel I have it mastered, I will hire it out potentially if it's not something that I don't love doing. So, you know, what I do through this show is I make it available in all the spaces so that when somebody is tuning in, they can choose their adventure, you know, and like I mentioned, a lot of people like podcasting. Now, in my opinion, and I've shared this a couple of months ago when I shared that image of what I believe is happening in social media. There's 2 things about what I'm doing here. So number 1, the podcast is really the new way of connecting. It's kind of like how blogging was 10 years ago when I began. It's a way for people to you know, peek inside your mind, to really understand who you are. Now, if you are a brand, if you have a lifestyle-based business, if you are a leader building something, then that is your key focus, is to help people build trust with you in what you are doing. So podcasting, it will be a huge learning curve for you, just like it is for anyone else you see creating a podcast today. But I do think that voice, and also the advantage of not having to be fixed to a device while you take in the content. Like I don't have to, if I'm listening to a podcast, I don't have to have that podcast static on my phone. If, for example, I wanted to, I don't know, look at memes or empty my inbox or whatever while I'm listening to it. So that is the advantage of a podcast versus Facebook Live or Instagram Live, right? Now, the second thing that you'll notice I do is I show up with consistency at the same day and the same time. I do adjust things sometimes when I head into a new season, but today there's so much coming at people. There's so much noise. Like you turn on anything, Instagram, Facebook, email, text, whatever. And I mean, I talk about this all the time, right? There's so much coming at you today that if you're going to do something, decide that you're going to do it all in and show up, do what you said you're going to do, serve your community in that way. If you're going to do, Facebook Lives, if I was to do a show to show you, the process of what I do, only do that if you are committed to your community, to showing up, to being consistent. Because the reason there's so much noise, you guys, is anybody can do it. Anybody can turn on their camera. Anybody can, anybody could record a podcast. You could simply use the voice button on your phone and upload it to iTunes, like get it approved first, and then there you go. You've got a podcast. But the issue is there's so many people who just get in and get out quick. They're hoppers because they don't get the engagement that they thought they would, or they're comparing their low engagement with somebody who's been doing it for 5 years, right? And so they think, oh, this isn't worth it because I'm not getting I'm not on the top 100 on iTunes or whatever, right? And they quit way too soon. So I will share this eventually. I'm going to do it in a way where I can teach those of you, behind the scenes what I do. I have a list that's literally a whole page long of what I do to prepare for this show, what I do to post it. Because I love it. Okay. So this isn't for everybody. That's just it. You have to decide what your way is. Some of you love to write. You're gifted with your writing. You're going to want to be blogging or writing articles for the HuffPo or Mind Body Green or whatever. Get yourself out there doing what you love. You have to decide what your way is. Okay. Okay. Question 2 comes from Diana. She says, I'm a premier rank in doTERRA, and now I feel I need to develop as a leader to inspire and mentor great leaders. Yeah. I want my builders who are my dear friends to have vision as big as mine. I want them to be successful. I want them to grow, and I want the best for them. What are your tips for me to grow as a leader and to mentor them to become great leaders? I would love your thoughts on this, because I think this is probably, this is something we all have to understand if we consider ourselves to be a leader. Okay. So I love this, Diana. This is a great question. You're going to, a lot of people face this concern, right? Is how am I going to lead people? How am I going to attract those people? How am I going to help people have a vision as big as my own? How am I going to do that? Honestly, my simple answer to you might really bother you, but you just have to do it yourself. You have to create an energy around the vision that you have through how you show up every day in your business, in your life. You start to tell a story, okay? And people feel what you're building. You have to take yourself seriously and honor what you said you're going to do, or nobody else is going to take you seriously. This is a really, really important thing to understand. It hurts my heart when I see leaders do something and then cancel it, okay? Or if I see somebody do something really lukewarm. And this happens at all levels. Just because you get to a certain level in your business doesn't mean you're, that you are actually at that leadership level. Because sometimes you can, with a lot of consistency and with a lot of force, sometimes you can kind of force your way into a certain level. Do not quit on what you say you're going to do. This is like absolutely the biggest thing. You have to keep believing in that vision that you have of what you're creating and stay so connected to that, especially on the days when it like totally doesn't make sense. Like you go to teach a class or something and nobody shows up, or you want to teach Zoom calls for your team to start growing that community. Let's say you're a premier like Diana and you want to really start setting yourself up as a leader of a team. You have to step into those shoes. You would create weekly Zoom calls to mentor them and to share what you're doing as the leader, to open up your journey, Take them on a journey with you. Teach them about the actions you're taking. That's what you would do. Even if only one person shows up, you don't cancel that Zoom next week. You keep doing it because you are committed to what you are creating. You are committed to the vision you have in your heart of what you want to attract people to. And as you're going on your journey, you're an elite or premier, as you're going on your journey, you create the resources that you need, and then you share that with your team. That's been my MO the whole time. I didn't complain or, and I have to tell you, as somebody who was one of the founders of doTERRA Canada in the beginning, for example, things were not simple. I mean, we did not have anything close to what we have today. But anything that we didn't have that I felt was needed, I created. And I shared it with my team. I wanted the best for them. I wanted them to be able to have whatever they needed to take their own action. Now, those that are true leaders, they did the same, okay? They along the way, they would open up and share their action and share their resources as they were growing. You have to start before you're totally ready, okay? Being a leader, I mean, you are not born with leadership skills. You are certainly not a leader just because you're given, a business and it starts to grow. And by given, I mean, just because you have a business that maybe you have somebody who joins you and they're like rocking it, right? And then your own level grows. You have to be in it and be consistent with it daily. And then you're able to handle more, okay? I went for a walk today with a 20-pound kettlebell. And it had me thinking about pregnancy. So women, you totally understand this when I say, if you became pregnant on Wednesday and on Thursday you were 9 months pregnant, it would be a real struggle, right? Your body would not be ready for that 9-pound or that 9-month baby that's now with you. Like everything would be hard. Every step you take, every time you go to the bathroom, everything it would just be like you couldn't adjust. And the reason that pregnancy is so brilliant and teaches us so much is it's this 9 to 10 month journey of being, given a little bit every day, a little bit more. And you keep getting a little bit better and a little bit stronger. And then you blow your own mind at the end of it all, right? With what happens next. So, I want you to realize that leadership is a journey through your own action, through inspiring others because of your example, to do the things you say you're going to do. And you will attract people to you because of your own action and the energy around the work that you have, okay? Okay, so next question came from Toby. Hey, Ange, first off, thanks so much for continually pouring your heart and your truth. Value so much. Thank you. I'm super curious for your feedback on being a new mother. I love your blueprint around your time management. I found time blocking to be the key. That was before having my first baby. Now as a new mom, how do you still make that happen? Okay, so regardless of your, where you're at in life, whether you work full-time, own your own company, maybe you don't, maybe whatever your case is, life completely flips on its head when you have a child. Like you really don't have time anymore to just take constant selfish moments, right? Like you are always on a clock. It's like there's something always coming up. So here's what I suggest. Whether you're a brand new mom or you're a mom of 4, being a mother requires you to be so crystal clear on your priorities. This is your time to really take inventory of who and what you're giving your time to, because anything that you're saying yes to, you're saying no to your new baby or your family or, whatever, however many kids you have. Everything you're saying yes to in your calendar is a no to probably what's most important to you, okay? So I think that if you run priorities through that lens and you really look at what you're doing, and I mean, you look at your calendar, whatever system you use to really understand what you're valuing right now because of where you're giving your time. Or maybe you actually track it for a couple of days. You actually look at, where is my time going? Because the reality is, if you have a really good clean schedule of things that you prioritize and things that are important to you, you'll notice that there are a lot of pockets of time that open up to do a little bit more, whether that little bit more is working on the business that you eventually want to have as a full-time focus. Maybe that little bit more is hobbies, knitting, things that really add back to you as a mother. So what and who you're giving your time to going forward, regardless of how long you've been a mother, it needs to be developing you into the woman and mother that you know you are in your heart. Literally, I would pass everything through that test. Is this truly developing me into the person I know I'm here to be? And honestly, you guys, I see a lot of women sitting at Starbucks for a couple hours every day, just talking away. And I sometimes look at that, I'm like, hey, you know what? That can be really cup filling, totally. But I sometimes wonder, I wonder how many dreams are still sitting collecting dust because of all this time that they're just getting together with people all week. How about like other things like getting your hair done or getting your nails done? I mean, you might not even be doing that yet as a new mom, but a lot of these things are taking up a lot of time, right? So maybe you look at it and you think, well, where can I optimize or be more efficient in that? So purge first, purge your schedule, cleanse out the commitments. There's a lot of things I have found through my years of coaching that people have as commitments, quote unquote, in their calendar that they actually hate. Like they're so sick and tired of doing the things, but they're worried that if they don't do those things, that they're going to be less of a person to their friends or whatever. But you really have to look at what you have on your schedule and ask what that is helping to create in you. And honestly, it's totally up to you. You do not need to be doing all the things that Sally down the street is doing. If those things are not important to you. One thing I'm very protective of in our home as a mom, I do not have my kids in any after-school programs. Not one, all week. Because I value when I close it down at 3:30, and my kids come home, I value our time together so much, okay? If I had all these things on the calendar like everyone else down the street does, I know what that's taking away from. Now, I'm not saying that that's not the same value or priority that the neighborhood has, because maybe, like, obviously theirs is different. At least I hope so, because that's where they're putting their time. But I just want to give you an example. If there are things that are challenging you with your schedule, it's time to purge. It's time to really look at what you've committed to and then set a new blueprint for yourself. Now, you might have to find time. So decide what you're willing to do each day. Decide, are you willing to get up, 30 minutes before your baby typically wakes up? Brilliant. I'm shocked at how much I can get done sometimes in only 30 minutes. And I feel like totally refreshed. Okay. Now, I do want to tee this up for you. It's still a couple months out, but in January, this process, the actual program will start mid-December. I'm launching a new Beautiful Life Lab. So previously I've offered this as a free program, annual, looking a year out. But I'm going to teach you through this lab everything I know about productivity and owning your time. So if you want to, stay up to date with that as the launch comes closer, just subscribe to the Whole Fit newsletter. We'll put the link in the comments. It's a bit.ly/Whole Fit inbox. Okay, so that might be something you're interested in. Toby, thanks for your question. 2 more to go. So question 4 comes from Anna. She says, hello, I just moved to a new city this year and I want to know some advice or tips on how to grow your business in a new place. I also want to ask the best tips for advanced ranking from Premier to Silver when you don't necessarily have builders working with you. Okay, this is a great one too. So she has 2 questions, right? The first one was what to do when you have moved to a new city, okay? So this is actually, personally, when we moved to London 6 years ago, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to our family. It was a fresh start. what I did right away, and here's what I want to encourage you to do, is think about what you're passionate about. I'm going to assume it's health and wellness because you're here. Look up the local gyms, look up the local yoga studios, Pilates, find every place doing something health related in your new area. Go to Lululemon, look at their community board, go to Starbucks, look at their community board, find out what the hub is there, and then join it and start to meet new people. Relationships have to come first before anything else grows. So your main question was, how do I grow a business in a new place? Relationships first, always. So you want to be, getting into the areas where your people are, where you're going to meet people that care about the same things as you. Because who knows, you might, I'm not sure your business is doTERRA because you were asking about ranks. So you might be the first person to bring doTERRA to that area in the way that you feel called to bring it. Do you know what I mean? Like you might have a particular passion. I don't know this from your question. You might love yoga. So you might be the first person to bring doTERRA to the yoga community there, right? So think about what your passions are, and get out there and meet people. Second comment came from one of our community members, Diane. She said, when in a new place, talk to people about your passion and always have your business cards with you to connect. And I'll take this one step further. Be somebody, if you are a business owner, know your schedule inside out. Always be ready to invite people to the next offering that you have. So maybe what you do in a brand new city, you get to know your neighborhood a little bit and you invite everyone over for an open house. Maybe that's where you start. And you share, you make some yummy food, maybe it's a potluck, and maybe you show people what you do, right? Keep it totally free and open and chill, right? It's not like a total class, but maybe from that, you're scheduling then classes that people would want to attend. Now, the second part of your question does kind of parlay off the question we had a couple minutes ago, where you have goals, but you maybe don't have the team yet that's going to support you in this goal. And I want to reiterate what I said there a couple minutes ago. The most important thing as a leader, as somebody who's building anything, is the energy you are creating around what you do. And I want to share something with you guys. This is going to shock you. So I'm a double diamond leader in doTERRA, right? Some of you know that. Very few people are at that level. I have never once done a business opportunity session. Not once. I will from time to time mention the business to people that are in our customer community that I think would be awesome at this. But this entire thing has been built because of the energy I created around it and people literally attracting to the work because they want to be around that energy as they grow their own micro movements. So this is what I believe is so important. People need to feel you and what your vision is and what you're all about through how you're sharing, your life, through how this is why social media, it can be a really good thing if you're being honest. If it can be a really powerful tool for you to connect with people and to bring them on a journey with you. It can be a very dangerous tool if you're polishing and faking. I think one of the most harmful things to a person today in business is to have a very different experience in real life than they are online. So you want to be real, be authentic with who you are, but bring people on that journey with you and create a feeling about the work that you do. And you can do a lot of branding work around this to decide, what do you care about? But honestly, I would think about what you're attracted to and why. There's clues in that. So I think another thing to understand is at that level in your business, Anna, it's super common to not have a business partner until your belief level has no more holes in it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I think we get stressed and frustrated because we don't have people wanting to join what we're doing. It's typically because they can sense that you don't actually believe in what you're doing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you've taught people in the past that they can't count on you. Or maybe you've hopped from thing to thing to thing to thing, and your network doesn't trust you anymore, that what you're doing is actually so great, Like you need to really look at the story that you're telling, and be aware of what you've told in the past through how you've lived, through the action you've taken. So, there's a lot of things that go into this, but the number one thing to go from, beginning your business to grow to the first leadership rank of silver is that you have to be consistent and cast a vision of what you're creating. You do not need to be, a diamond level leader in your business to attract leaders. You do not need that. You do need to have a solid belief in what you're doing and why, to the point like I could have anybody in a room with me that has every obligation to what I do, and I would change their heart. If not in that meeting, it would happen a couple weeks later, because my belief is so high in what I do. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, to have a high belief, you have to live what you are teaching, like day in, day out. You have to have such a bank of experiences in your life that's where your confidence comes from. Like there is not a single, I don't even know, there's not a single person on this earth that could convince me or even cast a little bit of doubt in my mind about the work that I do, because of how we live it in our home, because of what I see with my girls. I know through and through to my core that the world needs what I do. The second thing, I develop my mindset. I'd offer that to you. I look at what feedback and noise would be a good word. If it's not adding value to you, I would look at what you're allowing in on a regular basis, maybe sometimes, and flip it to something that's actually nourishing your mindset around a higher belief in success. One thing that shocks me is how many people have this same concern as Anna does. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but they don't show up for the work. They don't show up for events, for example. Like, I'm not asking you guys to call yourselves out or anything, but how many of you have goals in your life right now? Let's say it's with doTERRA. You've partnered with doTERRA to create a business, but you aren't even planning to attend any of these 100 free events. That is a clear as day sign that your business is not growing. So you have to put yourself around winners. You have, and this is part of the reason, among many other leaders in doTERRA specifically, or if you want to look in the health field, there are so many people who share so openly in the same way that I am with you today, because we want you to win. We want you to be surrounded by people who have, the belief and the confidence and have shown you through what they've done that is possible, and it's possible for you too. So I'm glad you're here. You have to surround yourself with that kind of thinking as often as possible, because 90% of the people in your life, I wrote this on Instagram earlier, 2 days ago, 90% of the people in your life are really trying to pull you to a level that makes them feel comfortable, because they're not ready for the type of change that you're navigating. So you do have to be really mindful of that. And as a leader, this will never change. You have to protect your mindset. You have to protect your stability. I think one of the greatest gifts a leader can give their team is stability. To be in integrity, to have their life truly match what they teach. To take care of their whole health, you guys. It's not just workouts and kale. It is emotional stability and intelligence as you grow. And all of that requires that you are very protective of your mind and of your time. All right. Last question. Oh no, there's 2 more. Laura asked, what is your setup for videos? They look so professional. You do a great job. Thank you. Okay, so I have the actual gadgets that I use in the Healthy Home Shop. We're going to link that up for you on my website. So my webcam is hello. See? I won't turn it because I've got Instagram. They're going to go sick over there. I use a Logitech C922 webcam. This is something new I started using about 6 months ago. So you might have a really great computer or laptop that has a great webcam. This will actually dial it up a notch. It also has an app that allows you to control the lighting. So you can, if you're working, I work in a very bright office. So as you can see, there's a lot of light pouring through, so I don't have to adjust that too much. I also use, as you can see, a lav mic, and those are both linked up in the shop there. Okay, last question comes from Diane. Hi, Ange, just starting out, and I'm having an open house on an afternoon with a friend who sells beautiful cashmere sweaters. We will embrace the season with a reason and invite friends and family, and wondering, with a flow of traffic, what the best way is to spread my love for doTERRA and the wonderful oils. Cool, great opportunity. So I love the idea of open houses, especially around the holidays. People love getting together, and it's a great chance to solve problems for people too. So what I first suggest is that you have a table where people can come and play and experience the oils. I would do a top 10 oils, because that's where almost everybody starts, is with a collection of top 10 oils. I would also have a table with any of the new products, because everyone's like super all about the new products right now. They're so good. I would have a table with pre-made gifts, because people, starting pretty much now, they're kind of thinking already of teachers' gifts and little like 20 to 30 price range kind of things. So you can decide what that would be, but have them already done for people. I would also have a calendar of your upcoming classes. Because this is not a class, you want to let people know that that is available to them. So have a calendar showing your upcoming classes. Offer people the opportunity to book a class. Okay, so maybe you have a little sign up or something if people want to do like a holiday DIY class or something that's going to, help you get out and spread the love in other homes. What else? Have an enrollment incentive. There are people who they will want you to make it as easy as possible for them to get started at your open house. So have, maybe a little gift with purchase or something like that. Maybe you give an essential life book for people who do get started. I mean, it's endless what you could do, but because it's a light mood and people aren't coming for education so much, they want to just come and play and experience. I would look at how you could actually line up classes. Okay, so that is the end of the question queue. I just want to scroll through the comments for today, see who's on with us, see what you're saying. I'll come over to you in a second, Instagram. I think, yeah, there's a lot of comments on what we talked about today. I'll just scroll through and see if we see any questions. Yeah, yes, Shawnee, I think you're talking about the Dream Tour tomorrow in London. I will be there, absolutely. Okay, I answered quite a few of these about the Glow Detox already. Jackie says this will be her third time doing it. She now dry brushes, which she had not done before. Yes, that's a big one. I'll just sing for you while I'm scrolling. Laurie said, how do I get teammates to wean off their buyers? They tell me people don't want the wholesale account because they're too busy or they don't want to be signing up for anything. I'm happy they're providing a solution for people, but they're doing them a disservice. I'm not sure what your question is, Laurie. Sorry, it's quite long too. So if you want to ask it again and just post like a shortened version of it, I'll probably see it near the end here. Awesome, thanks, Carla. Sweet. Okay. Yes, great. Okay, cool. Well, we'll wrap up here. So this is a bit of a shorter one. I really try to keep these around 40 minutes because personally, I kind of check out if they go longer than that when I'm listening. But I'll answer a few more on Instagram here. Flourish Beginning said, what would be the first thing in your heart to say to those of us who are healthcare providers trying to find our way to connect essential oils into the, she says, hostile medical environment? Honestly, I really believe that the best approach is to use them in your own life and then have people ask you what you're doing, because that you don't want to come in trying to look like it's doTERRA or a holistic way to living versus the medical community. In fact, doTERRA is modeling that for you in how they're bridging the gap right? With doing the healthcare centers that are going to have doctors in-house. There's so much changing right now that I think you need to just chill on that issue, because there are going to obviously be people within the medical community that are going to fight tooth and nail to keep things as they are, because they have their own agenda. And if you have somebody who's not willing to look at alternatives and work with a movement like doTERRA, there are so many doctors right now who are, right? There's so many good doctors who, and I shouldn't use that word, right? It's not like it's good and bad. And I just think if somebody has an agenda to keep people broken, and they're not looking outside of what they were perhaps taught in med school, when they can see right in front of them that it's not working and they're not seeking alternatives, they're not the people to be trying to change, because they're closed. They're a closed circuit. They are not, they're not seeking that info. So be the example, but don't stress. I mean, honestly, you gotta know who you're here to help. And I find nurses, there was a whole nurses conference. I don't know if any of you went to it. It wasn't run by doTERRA, but it was right around the same timing of convention, and it was sold out. Like, there were so many nurses that flew in to learn about doTERRA and the work they're doing, and the type of research that we cannot share as wellness advocates who have a financial gain. You can't, that's irresponsible. We can't share. Like, that's why when I did the convention recap, I encouraged you to do your own research, for example, around what, the different constituents in the oils actually do. Because I can't in good conscience share with you what the research is showing us, when that is, that's a huge playground for the pharmaceutical industry. They own that. They work with the FDA through that, right? So we have to be careful there. But I was just going to say, I mean, nurses I think they're really a big part of the reason that the healthcare system is changing. Sarah said, nerd alert. You mentioned previously where doTERRA shares info on the science behind how the oils work with the body. Where can I find this? They have a ton of modules. If you go onto doTERRA.com and just search, for example, essential oil metabolism, it'll bring up a module, and then it'll have previous and next. So you can just kind of coast your way through the different modules. doTERRA has a chemistry ebook, you guys. I've got it on the ground over here, so I can't grab it, but it's 80 pages, and it's deep education on the chemistry of oils and why they work, and it's free to you. So just go to, if you search doTERRA chemistry ebook, I bet you it'll come up. I went and had mine laminated, printed, and spiral bound. Great information. I wish Instagram made it easier to look at all of the comments. There's a lot coming through here. Okay. Yeah, I can't get up to the first few ones there, but anyway, we'll wrap up for today. So like I said, I won't be on next week, but I will be back the week following. And I don't know, I'll decide whether it's time for a focused topic, or I'll have a look at your questions and see if there is a topic that many of you are sharing mostly. If I didn't get to your question today, I would wait to post it below the question queue that comes out the Monday before the next podcast, and we'll take the most liked questions, and maybe it'll be a theme, like I said, that we'll do. Okay, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. For those of you in London, I'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully. And Ready, Set, Glow, like I mentioned, I would get on that. If you want to join us and register, you can go to the website. I would recommend that you get set up, at the latest by end of next week, just so you have enough time to prepare and get ready for it. Okay, bye for now, guys.